Before sunlight touches the valleys, Kyrgyzstan's summits are already glowing, as if the country awakens from above. Below them, roads shrink into threads, yurts into white dots, and human certainty into something wonderfully fragile. I am drawn immediately to that imbalance, a nation where stone appears overwhelming, yet life keeps answering with movement. Here, water descends from ice, families follow grass, and forgotten towers wait beside roots older than borders. Beauty is everywhere, but it never feels effortless. Behind each breathtaking image lies endurance, memory, or sacrifice. So this journey asks what the mountains have made of Kyrgyzstan, and what its people have taught those mountains to hold. Kyrgyzstan occupies a small place on the map, yet its vertical scale makes the country feel almost immeasurable. Mountains cover roughly 90% of its territory, turning elevation into an unseen authority over everyday decisions. The Tian Shan commands most of the landscape, while the Pamir-Alay raises another formidable frontier across the southwest. Cities and fields gather inside the remaining valleys, looking precious precisely because level ground is so scarce. Snowfields become rivers, irrigation, pasture, and electricity, allowing distant ice to enter kitchens and livelihoods far below. Ancient caravans cross the same openings, carrying faiths, languages, fears, and ambitions alongside silk and valuable goods. What I admire most is how herding families still read wind, grass, water, and animal strength as a living map. That intimacy becomes clearest at Kelsu, where the modern road finally surrenders and the landscape takes control. The road to Kelsu does not create anticipation gently. It removes comfort piece by piece. Because the lake lies near the Chinese frontier, permits become the first reminder that this beauty occupies a guarded edge. Beyond the checkpoints, rough tracks cross the Toktogul Valley, bending around rivers that refuse to respect schedules. At nearly 3,500 meters, thin air turns an ordinary incline into a quiet negotiation with the body. Then the pasture narrows. Dark limestone closes in, and the valley suddenly seems to have locked its own doors. Inside that severe corridor, Kelsu appears green-blue and improbable, like water concealed inside a wound in the mountains. A massive landslide created the natural barrier that holds this geologically young lake within the canyon. Yet water escapes through underground fractures, causing the shoreline and depth to change dramatically between seasons. No photograph can become a final portrait here, because the lake may redraw itself before another camera returns. That instability unsettles me more than any steep cliff. Even abundance seems temporary in this remote basin. Small boats can slip between narrow walls where reflections darken the surface until it resembles cold, hammered metal. Around each bend, the canyon offers another passage, but never enough distance to make the enclosure feel comfortable. There is something almost magnetic in that unease, as though the lake is beautiful because it refuses to reassure us. Seasonal yurt camps soften the Kokkia Valley with smoke, tea, horses, and the unmistakable warmth of human presence. When winter arrives, those shelters disappear, and weather reclaims the highland with astonishing speed. The silence feels watchful here, intensified by the border, the altitude, and the absence of easy escape. Kelsu leaves wonder behind, but its deeper emotion is humility before a lake that never promises to remain unchanged. Along Issyk-Kul's southern shore, blue water suddenly meets a dry labyrinth of crimson, gold, ash, and clay. Skazka means fairy tale, and the name immediately gives the imagination permission to misbehave. Wind, frost, heat, and sudden runoff have carved soft sediments into fins, towers, corridors, and serrated crowns. Iron-rich bands glow red beneath strong sun, while paler layers reveal yellow, violet, and smoky gray. One ridge resembles a ruined palace, another suggests a dragon resting with its spine exposed. A few steps can destroy the illusion and create a completely different creature, which feels wonderfully liberating. I find myself wanting no official interpretation, because certainty would make this playful landscape feel smaller. The canyon invites every viewer to invent, disagree, laugh, and look again without needing the same answer. Still, its fantasy is grounded in geology, with every fold preserving pressure, erosion, and immense stretches of time. Sparse vegetation exposes the strata so clearly that the slopes resemble pages from an unfinished planetary archive. Those pages are fragile, Loose surfaces crumble under careless feet, and one thoughtless shortcut can scar them for years. Narrow passages briefly swallow the horizon, intensifying color until the outside world seems very far away. Then a ridge releases the view toward Issyk-Kul, and the sudden blue expanse feels almost like emotional relief. That collision between desert forms and inland water is so unlikely that delight becomes more natural than explanation. Morning shadows make imagined faces appear secretive, while evening light turns their rough edges theatrical and warm. Rain will erase one familiar silhouette, wind will sharpen another, and future visitors will inherit different stories. Skazka moves me through joy rather than grandeur, a rare landscape that allows curiosity to become young again. At Song-Kul, wind travels freely across the high plateau before touching a lake almost level with the clouds. The water rests around 3,016 meters above sea level, enclosed by broad, treeless summer pasture. For most of the year, snow closes the passes and gives the basin back to ice, weather, and solitude. Summer reverses that silence as herding families climb toward the jailoo, following fresh grass with animals and homes. Yurts rise across the plain, not as decoration, but as an architecture of memory, cooperation, and survival. Wooden lattice, roof poles, felt, and the circular tunduk become shelter only when practiced hands move together. Horses graze beyond the camps, sheep spread across distant slopes, and cattle remain near the wetter ground. Children move between games and chores so naturally that responsibility seems woven into the rhythm of childhood. Milk becomes butter, cream, yogurt, and fermented mare's milk, preserving the generosity of a short Highland summer. Hospitality often begins quietly, with hot tea, fresh bread, an offered seat, and space made beside the stove. To me, those modest gestures feel warmer than any romantic promise of freedom beneath an open sky. Life remains physically demanding, because storms arrive without ceremony, and veterinary help may wait beyond difficult passes. Clouds turn the lake silver, sunlight restores its blue, Evening gathers every change into a single trembling reflection. After dusk, livestock bells cross the grass, and their lonely music makes the enormous plateau feel unexpectedly intimate. What touches me most is how a complete home can stand so lightly, supported by skill rather than concrete. When autumn weakens the pasture, families descend and empty circles remain, where felt walls once held laughter and sleep. Song-Kul's beauty carries tenderness, because belonging here does not mean staying forever. It means knowing when to return. Issyk-Kul first overwhelms through scale, stretching so widely that the opposite shore often disappears beneath its own horizon. Nearly 180 kilometers long, it resembles a misplaced sea, lifted 1,600 meters above the oceans. The Kyrgyz Ala-Archa rises to the north, while the snowier Teski Ala-Archa guards the southern waterline. More than 100 rivers enter this endorheic basin, but no surface river offers the water an escape. Evaporation leaves minerals behind, giving the lake mild salinity and a character unlike ordinary freshwater. Its depth, stored heat, and dissolved salts keep most open water moving through winters that freeze the surrounding land. Snow can whiten the beaches, and ice can gather near shore, while dark waves continue breathing farther outside. I find that resistance strangely comforting, as though the lake protects one pulse of motion against an entire frozen season. Silk Road travelers once recovered along these shores, measuring relief against the punishing passes behind them. Today, resort towns, fishing communities, ports, and quieter villages each depend upon a different relationship with the water. In summer, children enter transparent shallows while glaciers remain visible above them, two seasons held inside one frame. Petroglyphs and submerged archaeological traces reveal that communities have repeatedly arrived, adapted, moved, and disappeared here. Wetlands, dry steppe, migratory birds, and alpine ecosystems all belong to the lake's immense biological neighborhood. Yet because Issyk-Kul has no outlet, pollution and reduced inflows cannot simply travel away and be forgotten. That closed geography changes my admiration into concern. Immense water can look invincible while quietly keeping every wound. The image that lingers is a wave carrying white mountain light toward a horizon it can never cross. Issyk-Kul feels boundless to the eye and heartbreakingly finite once the mind understands its boundaries. South of Issyk-Kul, Barskoon Gorge draws the journey upward through spruce forest, meadow, stone, and gathering cold. Its river begins among glaciers and snowfields, collecting enough force to turn distant ice into restless sound. Water is never still for long here. It leaps, divides, vanishes behind rock, and returns in white turbulence. Several waterfalls descend through the gorge, each giving gravity a different voice and tempo. One is remembered as Tears of the Snow Leopard, a name that adds sorrow to the beauty of falling water. Spray cools the skin, deepens the green of moss, and softens everything except the river's persistent roar. After Skazka's dry silence, this abundance feels exhilarating, almost as if the landscape has suddenly begun speaking aloud. Higher up, the trees thin rapidly, exposing bare slopes, snow, and the severe country beyond the forest's protection. For centuries, Barskoon Pass helped connect the Issyk-Kul Basin with high routes leading toward China. Caravans needed what the gorge still offers today: water, pasture, direction, and a survivable opening through the mountains. A monument to Yuri Gagarin introduces Soviet space-age ambition beside a road shaped by much older human necessity. I love that improbable contrast, the dream of orbit standing beneath peaks that make even the sky feel close. Every cascade also carries practical value: feeding habitats, settlements, and the greater Issyk-Kul watershed downstream. Near the torrent, geography stops feeling academic. Cold mist, wet roots, and thunder make the mountain physically immediate. Barskoon fills me with momentum, sending the journey forward on water that appears incapable of hesitation. Barely 40 kilometers from Bishkek, Ala-Archa rises so abruptly that the city's nearness becomes difficult to believe. The national park protects a steep Kyrgyz Alatu Valley, climbing from wooded riverbanks toward rock, snow, and glaciers. Its name comes from Archa juniper, a tree woven into Kyrgyz practical life and spiritual tradition. The junipers grip thin soil with such stubbornness that every twisted trunk seems like a small act of defiance. Below them, the Ala-Archa River turns remote ice into a voice that follows walkers throughout the gorge. The Oksai route leads toward a waterfall, mountaineering huts, and glacier country, while Adagene offers quieter distance. Climbers have long used these valleys to approach technical summits rising beyond 4,000 meters. Families also arrive for riverside picnics, placing ordinary laughter astonishingly close to serious alpine terrain. That contrast disorients me in the best way. City life remains nearby, yet the mountains already feel absolute. Within an hour, engines and concrete can vanish beneath rushing water, resin, loose stone, and thinning air. Accessibility can be deceptive because cloud, altitude, rockfall, and changing ice do not become harmless beside a capital. Retreating glaciers add sadness to the view, turning magnificent scenery into evidence of a landscape under pressure. My admiration here is inseparable from caution. The park feels welcoming, but never domesticated. Ala-Archa makes Bishkek seem close enough to remember and small enough to reconsider. After so much exposed stone, Sary-Chelek appears almost tender, wrapping deep water in forested mountain folds. The reserve occupies the southern spurs of the Toktogul Range within Kyrgyzstan's western Tian Shan. Its main lake fills a landslide-shaped basin, while smaller waters hide among slopes, meadows, and woodland nearby. Wild walnut and fruit forests rise through changing elevations, creating refuge for plants and animals beyond the shoreline. UNESCO recognized Sary-Chelek as a biosphere reserve, and it also belongs to the Western Tian Shan World Heritage Property. In autumn, yellow foliage gathers around the water, making the name often translated as Yellow Bowl suddenly feel inevitable. The abundance brings me genuine relief, like discovering that Kyrgyzstan's strength can also express itself through softness. Yet that affection quickly becomes protectiveness, because fragile habitats cannot endlessly absorb roads, noise, waste, and crowds. Conservation safeguards not one perfect view, but a living relationship among forest, water, wildlife, and neighboring communities. Sary-Chelek leaves me grateful for a rare lesson. Sometimes loving a place means asking less of it. Across southern and southwestern Kyrgyzstan, the Pamir-Alay rises like a wall, built from summits rather than stone. From the Alay Valley, peak after peak overlaps so completely that distance loses its familiar proportions. Glaciers feed rivers from the heights, while settlements and summer pasture depend on that frozen reserve far below. Passes turn a few weaknesses in the ranges into vital corridors, proving that even barriers can become connections. Roads look painfully thin across alluvial fans, and villages seem suspended between geology and weather. Avalanches, rockfall, altitude, and winter closure keep beauty from becoming a comfortable illusion. Herders and drivers answer those dangers with timing and inherited knowledge, a discipline that earns my deepest respect. When cloud erases a ridge, admiration acquires fear. An entire mountain can disappear while its power remains. The Pamir-Alay does not feel conquered by any road. It merely grants passage, briefly and without apology. Tash-Rabat gathers its medieval stone chambers into a lonely valley, looking less like a monument than a promise of protection. Across roughly 31 rooms, merchants, animals, and exhausted travelers once found walls between themselves and mountain cold. What moves me most is that simple mercy. After immense distances, survival may have felt like a door closing against the wind. At Toktogul, turquoise water meets arid slopes so beautifully that the machinery behind the panorama is easy to overlook. The Soviet-era reservoir widened the Naran River, converting mountain flow into storage, regulation, and national infrastructure. Its hydropower system provides much of Kyrgyzstan's electricity, making distant snowmelt part of winter warmth inside countless homes. Water saved during wetter months becomes most precious when freezing temperatures drive energy demand upward. The timing of releases also matters downstream, where farms across the Sary-Darya basin depend upon irrigation. Every decision, therefore, joins snowfall, electricity, agriculture, and regional negotiation in one complicated current. Exposed shorelines reveal the reservoir at work, refusing the comforting illusion of an untouched alpine lake. I cannot admire the view innocently. Engineering brings security, yet it also turns water into leverage, calculation, and responsibility. Toktogul is compelling because neither nature nor technology wins. Their uneasy dependence remains visible across every changing waterline. In the open Kui Valley, Burana Tower survives like a solitary sentence from the lost city of Barskoon. The Karakol settlement once connected merchants and ideas across the Silk Roads, long before modern frontiers hardened the map. Earthquakes shortened the original minaret, and its broken height feels more honest to me than a flawless reconstruction. Nearby balbols preserve individual stone faces, while UNESCO's Chang'an Tian Shan corridor restores the site to a continental story. Burana awakens a quiet grief. Civilizations rarely vanish completely, but they often survive only in fragments we nearly ignored. At Issyk-Kul's eastern edge, Karakol feels like a conversation between mountains, migration, faith, and frontier history. Founded as a Russian military outpost in 1869, it later welcomed merchants, explorers, migrants, and multiple religious communities. The wooden Holy Trinity Cathedral rose after an earlier church was destroyed during the devastating earthquake of 1889. Nearby, the Dungan Mosque combines Islamic devotion with Chinese-influenced timber design and remarkable nail-free construction. Seeing those buildings share one town feels more persuasive than any claim that identity must remain pure or simple. At the market, spicy Ashlian Pho noodles transform Dungan migration and local adaptation into an everyday, deeply loved meal. Beyond town, hot springs, alpine valleys, and the route toward Ala-Archa pull the streets back toward wilderness. I feel unusual affection for Karakol because world history survives here without losing the warmth of neighborhood routine. The city does more than stand beneath the Tian Shan. It makes cultural difference feel lived, useful, and human. Bishkek spreads across the Chui Valley, while the Kyrgyz Ala-Archa flashes above its southern avenues on clear mornings. Broad streets, irrigation channels, and mature trees soften a capital still carrying the monumental geometry of Soviet planning. Called Frunze through much of the Soviet era, the city reclaimed the name Bishkek in 1991. Ala-Archa Square now stages national ceremonies inside a space whose political meaning has already changed more than once. Mosaics and heavy civic buildings remain, yet pedestrians keep rewriting them through ordinary movement, commerce, and memory. Osh Bazaar breaks the official order with bargaining voices. Warm bread, bright spices, dried fruit, and joyous disorder. Cafes, universities, workshops, and crowded minibuses make the capital feel younger and more improvisational than its concrete shell. Peaks appear unexpectedly at the ends of streets, interrupting urban routine with a reminder of snow, pasture, and distance. After the loneliness of the high country, Bishkek gives me a sense of relief. Noise here feels generous rather than intrusive. Many city families remain connected to villages and summer jailoo, so urban life never completely severs the older rhythm. Bishkek feels less like an escape from the mountains than a lively place learning how to carry them differently. The mountains reward preparation, so treat June through September as a favorable window rather than a promise of easy weather. Kelsu occupies a controlled border zone. Confirm current permit rules early and carry every required document. For remote valleys, arrange high-clearance transport, an experienced local driver, offline maps, and more time than the route appears to need. Ascend gradually, drink consistently, and never dismiss headache, nausea, confusion, or unusual fatigue as minor inconvenience. Carry insulating layers, rain gear, sun protection, food, and safe water even beneath a calm morning sky. Keep cash outside major cities, because card payments, ATMs, fuel, and mobile coverage may disappear together. Inside a yurt or family home, follow the host's example, ask before photographing, and receive hospitality with attentive respect. Choose local guides, remove every trace of camp, and verify that insurance covers altitude, trekking, and remote evacuation. What lingers with me is not one perfect landscape, but the emotional distance between Kelsu's unease and Song-Kul's warmth. Skazka awakens wonder, Burana carries grief, Toktogul provokes conflict, and Issyk-Kul turns serenity into protective concern. Through every contrast, Kyrgyzstan's people reveal a moving strength, adapting to the mountains without pretending to own them. Tell us in the comments which place touched you most, and where your own Kyrgyzstan journey would begin. If these stories stirred your heart, please like the video and share it with someone who still believes the world can surprise us. Subscribe and support World Untold, where we keep searching for the landscapes, people, and truths too powerful to remain unseen.